everyone. I'm Mary Kay Grimaldi.
And I'm Rich Nation, and this is Shell Point Today for Wednesday, April 22nd.
On today's show, we'll take a look at all the fun to be had with virtual bowling over at the Resident Activity Center. And we'll take a look at the newest art exhibit at the Art Studio in the Island Tunnel.
But first, we want to remind you that the Aviation Club meets tomorrow. Come fly the friendly skies with Captain Paul Giacomuzzi, a 30-year pilot with American Airlines. For the past 17 years, his job has been to conduct pilot checks on Boeing 777s, the largest twin-jet plane in the world. Come hear Paul talk about his adventures and experiences at the club meeting. That starts at 1:15 in the Osprey Room on the island tomorrow.
Friday is another Do You Know Your Neighbor event. This time it's Canada. Light refreshments will be served at this fun, interactive social gathering for anyone who is Canadian, has ever lived or traveled to Canada, or just loves the culture. The event starts at 2:15 at the Social Center on the island.
And now it's time to take an inside look at one of the great activities held here each week, virtual bowling. Now, what is that exactly? Well, you probably know what bowling is. I'm sure at one time or another you strolled into a bowling alley, perhaps with a date when you were young, and you stepped up to the counter and requested a pair of those ridiculous-looking clown shoes, in your perfect fitting size, of course, and then spent the next half hour searching for the perfect size and weight bowling ball, one that could stuff your fingers into the holes with ease without dropping that heavy thing on your foot. Well, virtual bowling is so much better. You don't have to deal with that ridiculous prelude at all. Just show up and bowl, and have a lot of fun doing it. Let's show you what we mean.
Tell us about this whole bowling thing, this Wii bowling.
Wii bowling is no good for an old man.
Now wait a minute, but what about for a young man like you?
I wouldn't know.
So is it fun?
Yes, it's a lot of fun. We have good time.
So what's your best score?
224.
All right.
That's good enough for me. The real stuff in St. Louis was I sponsored it.
Oh, okay. You're the guy that paid the bill, huh?
Yes, I did. But I was a good bowler then. I was fairly young.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I liked it very much.
So how do you think they did, like, making this game to kind of feel like real bowling? Do you think it feels like real bowling? But I mean, in your head, does it have the same fun?
It's fun. It's lots of fun.
Well, Fred and I started this about whenever they started here. I think it was 7 years ago.
Whoa.
And if we could bowl, when we hit 100, we thought we were in heaven. I mean, it was like, oh man, this is it. And then we 150, then 200, and sometimes you go home, man, I didn't bowl 200 today. So, but it's just fun. We have camaraderie, and it's fun.
That's great. Now, were you a bowler earlier in your life, regular bowling?
Maybe back in 50s.
So you don't necessarily have to have bowling experience.
No, you just learn it because this thing's kind of different. And some people say, you play what? I say, well, it's fun. You should try it. Wii bowling is fun.
Sure, and it sounds like it's just a fun time to get together with some friends and something fun to do. Okay, so you've been doing this Wii bowling for a while, huh?
Yeah, a wee bit.
Tell us, why do you like it so much?
Well, it just keeps us busy. Just my exercise for the day.
A lot of it's getting up and down out of the chair, it seems like, right?
Oh, yeah.
You get up, you probably lose track how many times you stand up and get out of the chair, huh?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
All right, so it looks like there's a little bit in the wrist action there on that controller. Is it a little bit, put a little body English on that thing?
Sometimes. The girls do more than I do. They do the curves.
So you were a bowler in your earlier life?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so tell us about that.
Well, I used to bowl with the Automotive League in Connecticut.
So were you in a league?
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you kind of get a little bit of the camaraderie of the league coming here and playing Wii bowling?
Oh, the same idea.
Now, did you play with the ladies back then, too?
With the what?
You play with the ladies back when your other bowling days. It was all the guys.
It was all men.
I think I'd like this better.
The Automotive. Well, that's not bad. Get some good-looking girls, you know.
All right, gentlemen. You heard it here. 2 years you've been Wii bowling. Tell us about why you like to keep coming here.
I just love it. I love the camaraderie, and right up there with water volleyball, this is probably one of my favorite things to do.
Excellent. Excellent. So you're going to keep playing, I take
I
it.
am, because last week I started out in the 60s and 70s, and you need to know for the record that I beat Jackie O last week.
All right.
I didn't think I'd ever see that day, but
So everybody can have a good day at Wii Bowling.
yeah. Yeah, you can. Good game, Ben.
So you think some more folks ought to come out and try this?
Certainly do. Yeah. Come out and try Wii Bowling with us. You'll love it.
Here at Shell Point, we have a lot of wonderfully talented and creative people. The art show and sale, as well as the recent photo show, are great examples of that tremendous talent that abounds. Well, the art doesn't stop there. It's constantly going, and residents continue to showcase their creative expressions on the wall of the art studio down at the Island Tunnel. A new exhibit of works was recently put on display, and so we decided to give you a taste of them right now. Now it's time to cover all of today's happenings, menus, and Village Church connections.
Welcome to the Happenings segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley and this is Caitlin Van Scoy, and we're going to go over today's activities. We start with the men's Bible study in the Osprey Room at 7:45 this morning. And at 8 o'clock, the men's match play doubles tennis will be held at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. Lilly and Company Jewelers will be here for their weekly jewelry service at 8:45 in the Resident Activity Center. And from 9 till noon, Jurassic Travel will be in the Egret Room to be there to help you with any of your personal travel needs. At 9 o'clock, the Watercolor Group with Phil Hilton will be in the Art Studio. And at 9:15, the Card Making and Scrapbooking Group will be in the Tarpon Room on the island. Our Ladies' Bible Study will be in the Osprey Room at 10. And also at 10 o'clock, we have the Legacy Seminar, Behavioral Finance. That's in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands. Men's match play doubles tennis is at the tennis courts at 10 o'clock. And at 10:15, the Model Yacht Sailing Club will be at the Woodland Commons Lake. And we have an 11:30 Health Connections class, specifics in cardio conditioning. That's in the health club and is currently full. And now here's Caitlin for your afternoon activities.
Thank you, Bev. At 12:45, we have a Health Connections class, Advances Senior Strength. That'll be in the health club, and that's currently full. At 1 o'clock, we have chess in the library lounge. And at 1:15, we have the Hearing Enrichment Group. They'll gather in the Manatee Room. The Model Train Room will be open from 1:30 to 3:30. And at 1:45, another Health Connections class, Balance and Mobility Training Level 1. That's in the health club, and it's currently full. Come and listen to Jazz and Stuff at 2:30 in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands. And there's a Bible study gathering in the Community Room of King's Crown at 3 o'clock. Also at 3 o'clock, we have another Health Connections class, Pilates Stretch. That'll be in the health club. We have another Health Connections class at 3:30, Aqua Agility and Conditioning at the Life Quest Aquatic Center. And at 4 o'clock, we have pickleball being played at the pickleball courts. 4:30, we have court dinners at the Crystal. Solana and Harbor Court will be participating. 4:30 pickups at Solana and 4:35 Harbor Court. At 4:30, we have indoor bocce being played at the Health Club. And at 5:30, we have the singles table available at the Crystal, and you do need to make a reservation for that. At 5:45, we have the church choir rehearsal in the choir room of the Village Church. And our last activity is 7:15, prayer and praise at the Village Church. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Menus for Wednesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is a chicken kebab over rice pilaf and mixed grilled vegetables. The dinner special is the pasta buffet for $13.95, and the soup of the day is black bean. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is a chicken, peppers, onions, and cheese panini with fresh fruit for $7.25. The dinner special is grilled shrimp for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill are snapper papillote for $17.95 or fried oysters for $16.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm David Pavey, an assistant pastor. Years ago, despite the woes on Wall Street, trouble in the Persian Gulf, and impending surgery for America's First Lady, the headlines and the heart of the nation were focused on an 18-month-old baby girl in Midland, Texas, Jessica McClure. Who knows how Jessica, while playing in her aunt's backyard, happened to find and fall through the 8-inch opening of an abandoned well that had been partly covered by a flower pot. But suddenly it became clear that she had slipped down the narrow shaft and was wedged in a dogleg 22 feet down. They know how to drill in Texas, however. Within 10 hours, a gallant crew had dug a parallel shaft and were within 2 feet of reaching across to extricate Jessica. Then the problems began. Drillers hit a tough limestone outcropping that snapped off their expensive diamond drill bits like chalk, forcing the miners to resort to 30-pound jackhammers. The nation prayed as they worked on for 2 more days, and 2 more nights. Then finally, after 58 hours, all the major networks interrupted their primetime programming to switch live to Midland as a grimy paramedic emerged from the rescue shaft, cradling in his arms a bandaged but very much alive Jessica. God was certainly with Jessica during her ordeal, just as he has been with many others, usually in circumstances less dramatic, of course. But it's recorded of 2 Bible characters, for example, Ishmael and Samuel, that the Lord was with them as they grew. When Abraham's first son Ishmael was banished from his home as a teenager and dying of thirst, we read, God heard the boy crying. He provided water to revive him and was with the boy as he grew up in the wilderness. The child Samuel ministered in the temple under Eli the priest, and we read, the Lord was with Samuel as he grew up. The same was recorded of Joseph, who was only 17 when his brothers sold him into slavery in Egypt. The Lord was with Joseph, reports the book of Genesis, several times. The Lord was with Joseph. The same could be said for all the great cloud of witnesses to God's faithfulness recorded in Scripture. What a testimony! What a blessing! The Lord was with them as they grew. And we can add Jessica McClure to the list. Add my name too, for it's by the grace of God that I am what I am today. It only takes a casual glance at my childhood to see how God was with me as I grew up, protecting, providing, and preparing. And now I'm a parent in my own right, with children of my own, whom I still commit daily to the care of a loving Heavenly Father. Indeed, I'm a grandfather too. For many years I have watched him minister to the needs of our family. So add them to the list, please, along with Ishmael, and Samuel, and Joseph, and Jessica, and me. But surely we can add your name too, can't we? Reflect on that and rejoice. Let's take comfort in the fact that the God who has sheltered us through childhood and adulthood will see us through our senior years. I will never leave you nor forsake you, he promised. I am with you always. In fact, we are immortal until our work for God is done. Thanks for reminding us, Jessica. And thank you for tuning in to Village Church Connections.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's show. Return again tomorrow when we will hear from a vein specialist about the latest treatment for vein disease. And Inga Bredal has something to show you from your past. We're curious to see how many residents collected these when visiting the supermarkets. Until then, this has been Shell Point Today for Wednesday, April 22nd. I'm Rich Nation.
And I'm Mary Kay Grimaldi. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.